The moment of truth has arrived for Arne Slot. The Liverpool manager faces one of the most crucial decisions since taking charge of the team. The stage? Anfield? The opponent? Southampton, bottom of the Premier League table. And the protagonist of this story? Federico Chiesa, the only signing made by the Reds under the Dutch coach's command. For the fans, today's match might seem like just another routine game against a team desperately fighting to avoid relegation. But for Chiesa, this could be the last chance to prove his worth and show that he can be an essential piece in the Reds system. If Slot doesn't give the Italian a real opportunity, is there still a future for him at the club? Liverpool sits at the top of the table, knowing that any slip-up could put their lead at risk, especially with Arsenal lurking, waiting for a chance to take the lead. However, if there's one opponent the Reds simply cannot afford to stumble against, it's Southampton. The Saints are the worst team in the competition, with just 9 points in 27 rounds. Their offensive numbers are shockingly poor, only 19 goals scored, fewer than Mohamed Salah alone this season. To put it into perspective, Southampton has scored the same number of goals as Alexander Isak and is even behind Erling Haaland in the scoring charts. With these numbers, anything less than a comfortable Liverpool victory would be a real shock and an unexpected gift for Arsenal. But there's a complicating factor for Slot: the Champions League. The 1-0 win over Paris Saint-Germain in France put the Reds in a great position to advance to the semi-finals, but the decisive clash at Anfield is already set for next Tuesday. This means squad rotation will be crucial, and Slot must find the right balance between keeping the team strong to secure 3 points in the Premier League, while also resting some key players for the battle against PSG. And this is where Federico Chiesa comes in. When he was signed, there were high expectations regarding the impact the Italian would have on the team, especially after strong performances for Juventus and the Italian national team. But so far, his involvement with Liverpool has been disappointing. With just 28 minutes played in the Premier League, spread across 3 matches, Chiesa has yet to get a real opportunity to showcase his talent. Much was said about his physical condition when he arrived at the club. After all, he didn't have a proper pre-season with Juventus. But now, with the season well underway, that argument no longer holds. If there's an ideal game to finally test him, it's this one against Southampton. With Cody Gakpo recovering from injury and Diogo Jota still being monitored due to his history of physical issues, giving Chiesa minutes seems like the most logical decision. The Italian could start, or at least get significant playing time to prove that he can be useful to the team. If Slot chooses to leave him on the bench again, the message will be clear: Chiesa is not in his plans. And then, the big question arises: what's the point of keeping him in the squad if he can't even get minutes against the worst team in the league? Was he signed just to play minor FA Cup matches against lower division teams? If that's the case, there's no justification for keeping a player of his calibre on the roster, let alone paying his high salary. Arne Slot's decision in this match could define Federico Chiesa's future at Liverpool. If he plays well, he could finally earn the manager's trust and become a key figure for the rest of the season. If he remains forgotten on the bench, it will be hard to imagine a future for him at Anfield. The game against Southampton is worth more than just 3 points for Liverpool. It could be a turning point for a player who has been an enigma so far. The question remains: will Slot give him this opportunity, or has he already decided that Chiesa is not part of his plans? Today, the fans' eyes won't just be on the title race. They will also be watching a potential last chance for a player who arrived with star status but has remained a major question mark in the Reds' squad. If the match against Southampton was seen as a test for Federico Chiesa to prove his worth at Liverpool, now the focus shifts to another protagonist: Alisson Becker. After his heroic performance in the 1-0 win over PSG, the Brazilian goalkeeper showed why he is considered one of the best in the world. But while Reds fans celebrate his miraculous saves, a big question looms. Will he still be at Anfield next season? Liverpool heads into the Southampton clash full of momentum, and one of the key reasons is the security provided by Alisson between the posts. The Brazilian has a chance to keep his third consecutive clean sheet in the Premier League, and the stats are in his favour. Southampton, with an inefficient attack, doesn't seem to pose much of a threat to a goalkeeper who has just been praised by legends like Peter Schmeichel and Thierry Henry. Schmeichel described his performance against PSG as one of the best goalkeeping displays he has ever seen, while Henry compared him to Champions League giants like Petr Cech and Thibaut Courtois. When names of this calibre make a point of praising his talent, it becomes clear that Alisson is not just a great player. He is one of the pillars of Liverpool's success. Despite his importance to the team, the Brazilian's future at Anfield is not guaranteed. Last summer, the Saudi Pro League attempted to lure him to the Middle East, and although Alisson chose to stay, that doesn't mean the door is closed. According to journalist David Lynch, another approach from the Saudis is expected, and this time, the answer might be different. With a contract running until 2027, Alisson still has years of top-level football ahead of him, but some questions arise. Does he feel that his mission at Liverpool is already complete? If he wins another Premier League, or even the Champions League this season, would that be the perfect moment for a triumphant farewell? And of course, there's the financial aspect. If an astronomical offer arrives, it will be hard to ignore. Beyond the Saudi interest, another factor that could influence Alisson's decision is the imminent arrival of Georgi Mamardashvili. The 24-year-old Georgian goalkeeper is already seen as the Brazilian's natural successor and is expected to learn alongside him before taking over as the starting keeper in 2026. Arne Slot, however, sought to downplay any controversy. In a press conference, he stated that Alisson does not need competition to stay motivated and that his competitiveness is already natural. He is a top professional. He knows what it means to wear this shirt and that he needs to deliver high-level performances to keep playing, declared the Reds manager. But does Alisson see this transition as natural? With Mamardashvili getting closer to Anfield and knowing that, in a short time, his status as an undisputed starter could be threatened, the goalkeeper might consider this his last great chance to secure a lucrative contract in another market. Liverpool is going through a crucial moment. The Premier League title race is tight, ambitions in the Champions League are high, and the squad is undergoing a transition under Arne Slot's leadership. In the midst of this whirlwind, important decisions must be made. If Chiesa's situation was already raising questions, Alisson's future is an even bigger dilemma. The Brazilian has become an icon at Anfield and a leader on the pitch. But, as we have seen with Roberto Firmino and Fabinho, Saudi Arabia's pulling power is hard to resist. What will happen to Alisson Becker? Will he have more seasons wearing the Liverpool shirt? Or in a few months, will he be following in the footsteps of his former teammates on his way to Saudi football? One thing is certain. This saga is far from over, and the next chapters promise to be intense.